Waking up to urinate more than once a night is linked to a 28% higher risk of falls, heart strain, and sleep-related blood sugar spikes in diabetics. Even more alarming, studies from U.S. sleep centers show that frequent nighttime urination isn't just a bladder problem. It's often a sign of kidney pressure, nerve dysfunction, or hormonal imbalance that worsens over time. But what if part of the solution wasn't a drug, but a cup of the right milk before bed? That's exactly what emerging research now shows. In this video, we reveal the top 3 milks that help reduce nocturia by calming bladder spasms, lowering nighttime urine volume, and supporting kidney and nerve stability, while staying completely safe for people with diabetes. And if you watch until the end, you'll also get science-backed nighttime tips and tricks that help you sleep deeper and wake up less. First on list, unsweetened soy milk. For those waking up 2, 3, even 4 times a night to urinate, the solution might not lie in a prescription. It might be quietly sitting in your refrigerator. Unsweetened soy milk, often underestimated as a basic plant-based drink, is one of the most powerful milk alternatives for healing the deeper root causes of nocturia, especially in people managing diabetes, overactive bladder, prostate enlargement, or nighttime nerve sensitivity. Let's uncover why this creamy, non-dairy beverage does far more than simply replace dairy. It restores hormonal balance, bladder nerve stability, kidney filtration rhythm, and even insulin sensitivity, all while promoting restful sleep and blood sugar control. 1 cup of unsweetened soy milk contains approximately 80 to 100 calories, 7 grams of plant-based complete protein, 4 grams of total carbs, with minimal sugar, and about 2 grams of heart-healthy fat, making it an ideal nighttime option that won't spike blood sugar or insulin. It typically provides around 30% of the daily value for calcium, 25% for vitamin D, 10% for potassium, and 8% for magnesium, though these values may vary slightly depending on the brand and fortification. This powerful mix of nutrients makes soy milk one of the few beverages that supports all 3 major systems involved in nocturia: the bladder, the kidneys, and the nervous system. Potassium and magnesium work together to relax overactive bladder muscles and improve smooth muscle tone, while calcium and vitamin D help regulate detrusor muscle contractions and reduce urgency sensations through the night. What truly sets soy milk apart is its naturally occurring isoflavones, particularly genistein and dideine. These are known as phytoestrogens, plant compounds that gently mimic the effects of estrogen and support hormonal balance. For postmenopausal women or men with benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, this can be a game changer. Estrogen and testosterone imbalances are key contributors to nighttime urinary urgency, incomplete bladder emptying, and even nerve sensitivity in the pelvic region. By modulating these hormones gently, soy milk reduces swelling and irritation in the prostate and bladder lining, easing pressure on the urethra and helping the bladder hold urine longer. One research study noted that frequent nighttime urination reduced by up to 39% in older adults who consumed soy-based beverages rich in isoflavones over 8 weeks, especially when magnesium and vitamin D intake was adequate. For diabetics, the benefits go even deeper. Unlike dairy milk, which can contain up to 12 grams of lactose sugar per cup, unsweetened soy milk has a glycemic index between 20 and 30 and a glycemic load close to 0. That means your blood sugar stays stable, an essential factor in preventing osmotic diuresis, where high glucose levels pull extra fluid into the urine and lead to excessive nighttime urination. Moreover, soy protein has been shown to improve insulin sensitivity, lower HbA1c, and reduce markers of inflammation and oxidative stress in people with type 2 diabetes. Since inflammation plays a central role in bladder nerve dysfunction, kidney strain, and vascular rigidity, soy milk works like a silent healer from multiple angles. Let's talk about your kidneys. The low phosphorus and moderate potassium content of soy milk makes it kidney-friendly, particularly for those in the early stages of diabetic nephropathy. Unlike cow's milk, which has a high acid load, and more animal-based phosphorus, which stresses the kidneys, soy milk exerts a lower renal acid load, helping maintain a balanced pH in the body and reducing filtration strain on nephrons. This means less nighttime urine production as kidney rhythms become more aligned with circadian hormones like vasopressin, which helps the body retain water overnight. Here's a diabetic-friendly, bladder-calming recipe to try. In a blender, combine 1 cup of unsweetened soy milk, half a frozen banana, 1 tablespoon of rolled oats, and a pinch of ground cinnamon. This calming bedtime smoothie promotes magnesium-driven nerve relaxation, supports glucose stability, and reduces the muscle spasms that often lead to bladder overactivity. Keep your portion around 8 ounces, 1 cup, and drink it at least 60 to 90 minutes before bed to give your kidneys time to process excess fluid. Here's a fun fact. Soy milk contains arginine, an amino acid that promotes nitric oxide production, which improves blood flow to pelvic organs, including the bladder, kidneys, and reproductive system. This increased circulation helps calm irritated tissues, strengthen nerve function, and even reduce prostate swelling over time. Plus, its complete amino acid profile helps support muscle repair and nighttime tissue regeneration, a bonus for seniors and diabetics with slower recovery. There's a common myth that soy disrupts hormones or increases cancer risk, but research consistently shows that moderate soy consumption is safe, even beneficial, especially when consumed as a whole food or minimally processed beverage. In fact, populations with the highest soy intake often have lower rates of prostate and breast cancer, likely due to the hormone modulating and antioxidant effects of isoflavones. Before you add soy milk to your evening routine, one important reminder: always choose unsweetened, organic, and carrageenan-free soy milk. Sweetened varieties can contain up to 12 grams of added sugar, which not only raises blood sugar, but also irritates the bladder lining, making nocturia worse. Carrageenan, a common thickener, may cause gut inflammation in sensitive individuals, which can indirectly affect bladder nerve sensitivity. Before we dive into the next milk, I'd love to know, where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments below. It's always inspiring to see how far this video is reaching around the world. Second on list, unsweetened almond milk. Now let's explore a second nighttime champion. Unsweetened almond milk, a nutrient-rich, naturally calming milk that does far more than just hydrate. For people struggling with frequent nighttime urination, especially those managing diabetes, nerve overactivity, or prostate pressure, almond milk offers a quiet but powerful way to soothe the bladder, rebalance minerals, and ease kidney stress, all without raising blood sugar. At first glance, almond milk may appear light and delicate, but its impact on the bladder and nervous system is surprisingly strong. A typical 1-cup serving of unsweetened almond milk contains 30 to 40 calories, 1 gram of protein, 2 to 3 grams of fat, 3 grams of fat, and 1 gram of carbohydrate with 0 added sugars. Its glycemic index is near 0, and its glycemic load is effectively 0, making it ideal for diabetics who want a safe evening beverage that won't stimulate insulin spikes or lead to nighttime glucose-driven urination. But almond milk's real magic comes from its rich profile of calming nutrients. Most unsweetened almond milks are fortified to deliver 20 to 30% of the daily value for calcium, 10 to 25% for vitamin D, and 15 to 20% for vitamin E, a potent antioxidant that soothes inflamed tissues, including the bladder lining and vascular walls of the kidneys and pelvic nerves. The magnesium and potassium in almond milk, though modest, also play a critical role in nocturia relief. Magnesium helps regulate nerve firing and muscle contractions, particularly the detrusor muscle of the bladder, which can spasm and create false urgency. Potassium, meanwhile, helps maintain electrolyte balance and reduces water retention, which allows the kidneys to slow urine production overnight. This is especially helpful in diabetics, whose kidneys are often overworked from filtering high glucose levels. By reducing renal workload and lowering blood pressure slightly, almond milk indirectly promotes more stable nighttime filtration rhythms, meaning your body can retain more water without disrupting your sleep. What makes almond milk unique among plant-based milks is its anti-inflammatory and alkalizing nature. Almonds are naturally rich in monounsaturated fats, and though almond milk is low in total fat, the small amount it does contain helps reduce systemic inflammation. This is crucial because inflammation of the bladder wall, commonly seen in interstitial cystitis, diabetic bladder dysfunction, or mild urinary tract irritation, can heighten nighttime urgency. Additionally, almond milk's alkaline-forming properties help counteract the acidic load of many common evening foods, making it easier on the kidneys and urinary tract. When consumed regularly, it may support a calmer bladder environment and improve the body's hormonal response to vasopressin, a key antidiuretic hormone that tells your body to hold on to fluid during the night. And let's not forget the nerve connection. For many seniors and diabetics, nighttime urination isn't just a bladder or prostate issue, it's a nerve signaling problem. The B vitamins, calcium, and magnesium in almond milk help stabilize the autonomic nervous system, especially the part responsible for bladder contraction and sphincter control. Inconsistent nerve signals can cause false urgency or incomplete bladder emptying, both of which trigger frequent nighttime trips. By gently nourishing the nervous system, almond milk promotes better nighttime bladder coordination and longer sleep windows. Here's a gentle, soothing recipe to try 60 to 90 minutes before bed. Heat 1 cup of unsweetened almond milk with a pinch of turmeric, a sprinkle of cinnamon, and 1/4 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. Stir in 1/2 teaspoon of almond butter if desired for extra tryptophan, a sleep-promoting amino acid. This golden bedtime latte reduces inflammation, calms the bladder, and promotes deeper sleep, all while keeping blood sugar perfectly steady. Here's a fun fact. Almond milk contains beta-sitosterol, a plant sterol that's been studied for its ability to reduce prostate inflammation and improve urinary flow in men. Though present in small amounts, this compound may offer added support for those with mild BPH-related nocturia, especially when combined with an anti-inflammatory nighttime routine. Now, there's a common myth that almond milk is bad for the kidneys due to its oxalate content, but this doesn't hold true for the unsweetened commercial versions. Homemade almond milk or heavily concentrated nut paste may be high in oxalates, but most store-bought almond milks are diluted and filtered, making them safe even for those with stage 1 or 2 kidney concerns. Just avoid varieties labeled barista or extra creamy, which often contain emulsifiers and added oils that can irritate the gut or bladder. One helpful reminder, always check the label. Choose almond milk that is unsweetened, fortified with calcium and vitamin D, and free from carrageenan, a thickening agent linked to inflammation. And skip almond milk blends that contain rice or oat base. These have higher glycemic loads and can quietly undo your nighttime healing. Third on list, unsweetened yogurt. Let's now turn to a nighttime powerhouse that's as creamy as it is healing. Yogurt, but not just any yogurt. We're talking about plain, unsweetened yogurt, rich in live cultures, calcium, and gut-balancing proteins that goes far beyond digestive health. For those who wake up multiple times a night to urinate, especially people dealing with diabetes, nerve-related bladder dysfunction, prostate swelling, or urinary tract irritation, yogurt may be one of the most overlooked natural tools for nocturia relief. 1 cup of plain, unsweetened low-fat yogurt typically contains 8 to 12 grams of protein, 3 to 4 grams of fat, and 8 to 10 grams of carbohydrates. 10 grams of natural carbohydrates, mostly from lactose. The glycemic index ranges from 20 to 35, depending on fat content and fermentation time, which places yogurt in the low GI category, making it generally safe for diabetics, especially when consumed in moderation and away from high glycemic additives like fruit jams or granola. Most high-quality yogurts also provide 30 to 40% of the daily value for calcium, 15 to 20% for vitamin B12, 10 to 15% for magnesium, and about 15 to 20% for phosphorus, plus millions to billions of live probiotic cultures, depending on the brand. Together, these nutrients create a calming internal environment that supports bladder nerve control, reduces inflammation in the urinary tract, and strengthens kidney filtration. But yogurt's real power lies in its probiotic profile, specifically strains like Lactobacillus acidophilus and Bifidobacterium bifidum, which are clinically studied for their effects on gut health and urogenital tract balance. The gut and bladder are closely connected via the gut-bladder axis, a communication pathway where inflammatory gut microbes can influence bladder wall sensitivity, nerve firing, and even urinary hormone responses. By improving gut flora, yogurt reduces the risk of urinary tract infections, UTIs, which are a leading cause of nocturia in women and older adults. It also strengthens the mucosal lining of the bladder, reducing urgency and false signals that often cause people to wake up thinking they need to go, when in fact the bladder isn't full. For men with prostate-related nocturia, yogurt plays an indirect but important role. Its high calcium and vitamin D content support hormonal regulation, while probiotics help lower inflammatory cytokines, proteins that worsen prostate swelling and bladder compression. Additionally, vitamin B12, which is essential for nerve function, supports smoother communication between the brain and bladder sphincters during sleep. For diabetics, this is particularly helpful as diabetic neuropathy often weakens bladder control and causes incomplete emptying, leading to multiple overnight trips. Let's also consider kidney function. Yogurt is naturally low in sodium and moderate in phosphorus, and its high calcium to phosphorus ratio supports better mineral balance in the kidneys, which is critical for preventing nighttime overproduction of urine. Unlike high-protein animal meats, yogurt is gentler on the kidneys and doesn't cause a significant spike in blood urea nitrogen levels, making it safer for those in the early stages of diabetic nephropathy or with reduced GFR, glomerular filtration rate. Here's a restorative nighttime recipe to try. In a small bowl, combine 1/2 cup of plain Greek yogurt with 1/2 teaspoon of ground flaxseed, a few shavings of cucumber, and a pinch of dill or mint. This savory, cooling snack supports gut health, lowers inflammation, hydrates without flooding the bladder, and provides a slow-releasing protein matrix that helps stabilize blood sugar through the night. Stick to 1/2 cup and enjoy it at least 90 minutes before bed to avoid any delayed digestive activity that could disturb your sleep. There's an outdated myth that yogurt worsens urinary symptoms due to lactose, but this is only true for sweetened or low-quality yogurts. In fact, studies now show that unsweetened probiotic yogurt actually reduces UTI recurrence and bladder pain symptoms in both men and women, especially when consumed regularly over 6 to 12 weeks. Here's an interesting fact. Probiotic-rich yogurt can boost tryptophan levels, an amino acid needed to produce melatonin and serotonin, your sleep and mood hormones. This means yogurt doesn't just help your bladder, it helps your brain fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer, supporting a full-cycle healing process that restores nighttime hormonal rhythm and reduces cortisol-driven urination. A small word of caution, choose plain, unsweetened yogurt with live-active cultures, preferably Greek or strained yogurt, which is lower in lactose and higher in protein. Avoid flavored varieties, which can contain 15 to 25 grams of added sugar per serving, spiking your glucose and increasing urine output. Also, check for thickeners or stabilizers like guar gum or modified starch. Some people may find these mildly irritating to the gut or bladder lining. Tips and tricks to stop frequent urination. Even with the best bladder-friendly milks in your evening routine, true nocturia relief often comes from a few strategic lifestyle adjustments. Quiet, science-backed habits that rebalance your body's internal rhythm. The first powerful tip is to cut off all fluid intake 90 minutes before bed. Even healthy drinks like unsweetened soy or almond milk need time to process through the kidneys. If you sip right before lying down, you force your bladder to deal with excess fluid just as you're trying to fall into deep sleep. Giving that 90-minute window allows the kidneys to filter more efficiently while preventing the bladder from being triggered during your first few sleep cycles when your body does its deepest repair work. Next, address something many people miss: fluid pooling in the legs. If you've been sitting or standing all day, fluid collects in your lower body. But the moment you lie flat, gravity shifts that fluid upward, causing your kidneys to suddenly filter more, resulting in early night urination. A simple remedy? Elevate your legs for 20 to 30 minutes in the evening, either by propping them on a pillow or using a recliner. This helps your body reabsorb that fluid earlier, easing kidney load and reducing nighttime urine production. Another underutilized trick is bladder retraining. Each night, delay your final bathroom trip by just 10 to 15 minutes. Over time, this gently increases your bladder's holding capacity and helps retrain your pelvic nerves to resist false urgency signals. This is especially helpful for people with diabetes or mild bladder nerve dysfunction, where overactive nerves send mixed messages. Sleep environment also matters more than most realize. Keeping your bedroom cool, between 60 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit, enhances melatonin and vasopressin release. These two hormones play key roles in calming the bladder and telling your kidneys to slow urine production overnight. A dark, quiet, slightly cool room allows your body's circadian rhythm to sync properly, supporting both sleep and bladder control. Finally, your blood sugar stability in the evening is critical. High glucose causes your kidneys to flush excess sugar through urination. On the other hand, sharp drops can release cortisol and adrenaline, two hormones that stimulate the bladder. A simple, low-glycemic snack with protein, fat, and fiber, like plain Greek yogurt with a sprinkle of flaxseed or a warm almond milk turmeric drink, keeps sugar levels stable, nerves calm, and bladder muscles relaxed. When combined, these tips support deeper sleep, stronger bladder control, and fewer bathroom interruptions, allowing your body and nervous system to finally rest. If this video helped you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs better sleep and better bladder health tonight.